Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new video here on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and welcome back to the Cows DA42 Twinstar. Now, if you didn't watch the previous video, this is a different airfield. Normally I'm flying out of RAF Waddington. This is Humberside Airport, and I was going to be flying back to RAF Waddington, same kind of route that we flew out in the trip previously, which was Waddington, East Coast, North, turn up the Humber, and into Humberside. However, we are going to do things a little bit different. We're actually going to be flying back to Retford Airport. I can't remember, I think it's an airport, also known as Gamston. It's in Lincolnshire. And there is a bit of a link between Retford and this particular aircraft, or this type of aircraft, and I'll go into that more. I think you'll notice it more when we get on the ground at Gamston. So, or Gamston or Retford, I'm probably going to call it all sorts of things. According to my book here, it is actually called Retford. But anyway, I'm not going to start an argument over what it's called. So, what we're going to do, we're actually going to be setting up the aircraft. The last few videos, the aircraft's already been running. This one's going to be different because we're actually going to be using the navigational system. I'm going to try and set a course, a direct to Retford as we fly out of Humberside. So, weather is looking very good. I've got high cloud cover here at the moment. This will be a VFR flight, so we'll be keeping an eye on VFR conditions. Don't foresee even to be any issues weather-wise. It is quite a short flight, but obviously it is, like I say, there is a link between where we're going and this particular aircraft. So let's get this aircraft up and running. So first of all, let's get the battery on. First of all, we shall have to click this, because I need that on my screen. Right, because I actually do have a real SimGear G1000 screen sat in front of me, so it makes it a little more realistic. So, right, batteries are on, so we need position lights to be on, and we shall now shut the hatch. Open that up. Right, so fuels are set. Parking brake is set. Master arm. I've been playing DCS too much in my time. Engine masters are off. Alternators are on. Fuel pumps are off. Fuse panel is all in. This is not a correct way of actually starting the aircraft, by the way, but it is sort of what I've kind of gone to. So the lights all set, parking brake set. Right. Clear left. Wait for the glow plug to go out. And we'll shut that up. Open the right side. Wait for the right glow plug to be out. Clear right. That out, because we will need that. I will need that to be level. Thank you very much. Come on. Thank you. So, lights set. Let's turn that on. We might need that. While that's warming up. So, today's flight, we will be, like I say, flying out of Humberside. We will be going into Echo Golf November Echo, which is Retford Airfield, or Airport. We will be hopefully flying into runway 21. Or the very least landing at runway 21. Just wait for our TORS test to be complete.
TORS system test, okay.
Outstanding. Test the flaps, go down to approach, and they are on both sides. Flaps down to landing position. And they are on both sides. Back up to approach. Or should I say back up? Try that again. I've got the Warthog Thrustmaster throttle arrangement, and the little flap switch is quite sensitive. So, as always, we won't be needing flaps for takeoff in this aircraft. It's very powerful engines. So, the only warnings we have at the moment are stall heat and pitot heat. We'll turn them on before we get towards the runway. Just set that up a little bit so you can see the airfield. So we'll be departing runway 20, which is just taxiway just out there, so it's not a million miles away. So let's set up for, while the engine temperature and coolant is all rising, we will try and set up a direct 2, and I need Echo Golf. November, and where's it? Where's Echo? There it is. Gamston. So SatNav calls it Gamston. My chart calls it Retford. So we're going to activate that. We're not going to activate a hold. So that gives us a direct route. So that's going to be our route today. I do apologise if I'm looking at the screen like this. I'm looking at the map screen right now. It's to the left on my desk, however it's to the right on the aircraft, so I do apologise if there's a little bit of you haven't quite seen what I'm seeing, but I shall try to obviously get this set up a little bit better. So at the moment, like I say, that is our direct to route. So currently the coolant temperatures sat at 43 and 40, oil 34, 31, so we need them in the white before we can really start. We can move on that, but we can't do our engine run up whilst the temperatures are that low. So what we will also do is set up our altitude. We are going to set an altitude, we'll set for 2,500. We'll see what that actually does in regards to the cloud. Like I say, we're flying VFR. This is quite a short route, so we won't be going above the clouds on this one. And they do look quite high-ish, apart from that big batch of cloud over there. So everything is set. Route is set. We're not using comms. We're not talking to air traffic. We shall shut that. It's a bit quieter in here. Set a bit of rudder trim, which I find is quite useful on the flight. So, taxi lights coming on. Strobe lights will turn on when we get out towards the taxiway to the main runway, and we'll before doing our run up here in the Twin Star. Always test the brakes. Nothing's going to stop you. Also testing rudder. Obviously, Humberside is quite a busy airport, actually. A lot of helicopters fly out to the oil rigs out in the North Sea, are based here. I do believe it's Bristow. Can't remember. There's a building actually here. This is, I can't remember which scenery this is. It's not Flight Simulator scenery, it is an operated version. And it does have a Bristow even building. Quite a quick taxi. So coolant temperatures are now in the white, so they're good for an engine run up. Runway 20 is just ahead of us, so we shall now position the aircraft in such a way that we will not be blowing any stuff back towards any aircraft that may or may not be behind us. Obviously Flight Simulator, there isn't any, but I just simulate it. So, parking brake on. So as I've done before, we'll be doing a run-up test here in the Twin Star. It's a little bit different than most other prop-driven aircraft. You have to do mags and all that kind of left mag, right mag. None of that business here in the Twin Star. We actually have an ECU test button here, and it will test both ECUs. So just press this. And test complete. Fuel pump's coming on. Pitot heat is on. Trim is set. We get a warning straight away for stall heat. As always, stall heat needs aircraft to be actually moving, so that's perfectly fine. We'll keep the warning panel, alert panel open just in case we do get any stuff. CDI will be switching over to GPS. Transponder, we will be squawking altitude, and we'll be squawking VFR, which is 7,000. Let's pull the map out, we don't need that now. So, run up complete, flaps not needed. Fuse panel is correct, nothing's popped, which is simulated on this aircraft, by the way. Trim is set. Pitot is set, fuel pumps are set. As far as I know, let's roll. Landing lights coming on, strobe lights coming on. We're clear on approach. Not that there's obviously any aircraft, but it's nice to keep that skill set. Nice long runway here at Humberside. Parking brake set. Last of the checks. It's the only side I can see the tail structure. Well, he just went through the door. Went through the seat then. Right, coming off the parking brake, sitting on the wheel brakes. Ready to let's go. I just love the sounds on this aircraft. Absolutely love them. There's 60, there's 70, there's 80, we're going. Tap the brakes, gear coming up. So we're going to do a left-hand orbit and start our climb before we intersect our route over to Gamston. Pre-takeoff checks, fuel pumps coming off, landing lights coming off, Autopilot coming on. Just going to select ourselves close enough to the magenta line even. And select navigation mode. GPS has been selected. But for some reason is not latching onto. Right, we'll do this the old-fashioned way. We'll come off nav. We'll try that again. So it's on GPS. Let's try and fly ourselves a little bit closer to the magenta line. It's been a while since I used the autopilot in the Twin Star. I won't lie. I've been enjoying flying it hands-on. For some reason, this aircraft is not quite behaving. This is what the joys of making videos. Something I was worried about. We'll fly it ourselves. Don't know why the autopilot's not quite behaving. Let's see if you hold it this time. We are slightly high now, we're at 3,800. So, now we've managed to get the autopilot to actually behave. You may notice, hopefully, all being well, that the audio quality has been improved. When I started doing these videos, I used a mic boom off my headset, and I genuinely thought that the quality was not there for the audio. So I went and bought a microphone, and the microphone is, in my view, is better quality. But somebody reached out to me. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. You did reach out to me on the YouTube channel, and put a comment up saying that maybe I should use Audacity to record my audio, record it separately from OBS. Now this is something I've never tried before. I know Audacity and I know OBS, but I've never kind of recorded like the visuals through OBS and leaving the audio to be recorded through Audacity. So hopefully, as of this moment right now, Audacity is recording my audio and the OBS is recording, obviously, my visual. I'm hoping that this is going to make for a better audio quality with regards to this video. We shall see. I know that now I have to edit the video in such a way, obviously I had to edit the graphics a little bit, cut out some things, but now obviously I've got the Audacity to also edit as well, and I've been watching quite a few videos on how to improve voice quality through a microphone using Audacity. So I'm hoping that this video will have better audio, and hopefully if it works I can run up a little system that I can use and we shall have better audio, which is obviously very, very important in videos. Also, I've been testing 2 programs. Well, one was a tweak and one's a program. One is Auto FPS. Now, if you haven't heard of Auto FPS is a wonderful application that dials some of the graphical settings for your simulator, and to make it run better, to cut out the stutters, and so far I think it's making quite a big improvement. I didn't really suffer too many times with stutters. The only times I'd get stutters is obviously when I was flying into an airport, or landing into an airport I should say, and you'd get the odd occasional stutter as things start to load in. Well, Auto FPS stops this, or stops the vast majority of the stutters, micro stutters, and so far, like I say, it is brilliant. I don't know what version I'm running. I'm running the top version now, the latest version, and you can set it to what style of flight you do. So I do traditionally VFR flights, so I've got it running on VFR, and I've also set it so that it detects what FPS my system can run, and then sets it to run at an FPS a little bit lower so that there is less stutters, because if the computer is set to run at its maximum FPS, sometimes there'll be hiccups, obviously, like I say, when it needs to load up a bit of scenery. This will hopefully alleviate those stutters. So we are testing this. I'm hoping that it is working. Well, that's the plan anyway. We'll just not descend down that far. 16,000, 1600 even. Vertical, nose down, and we'll start our descent. The other tweak that I did test while I was off working, frame generation. This one is still hit and miss with me. Again, if you don't know what frame generation is, it's an Nvidia gizmo that the 40 series cards come with. I'm not going to go into how it does what it does. I could never get into great detail, but basically you will double your FPS when you have frame generation on. Now, if you do not have a 40 series card, and I don't have one, I have a 3090, if you do not have a 40 series card, it will not work. However, this little application allows the system to trick the simulator into allowing you to have frame generation. So I was running before Auto FPS at about 65 to 70 FPS with a few stutters, I do admit, and I tried frame generation. It's very simple. Again, I'm not going to go into how you do it. It does involve changing some keys, and it's perfectly legal as far as I know, but it does involve some like inner depth tweaking of stuff, and if you're not capable or not happy to do that, then please do not do that, because there is a very good chance you can ruin your sim by doing this. It is easier to do this now than to set it up now than it was when it first came out, this frame generation hack. But I went from getting 65 to 70 frames to 115 frames on a 3090 graphics card. I'll let that sink in. 115 frames per second. Silky smooth movement. I mean, I'm getting silky smooth movement now, a little bit of jitters every now and again because I'm moving my head quite quickly, but in normal flight it was so impressive to see what my sim could do, my graphics card could do. Now, the downside of this was there was some graphical gremlins that started showing up. For instance, you can see the spinner cap here, and it's got a reflection on it, and it's doing its best, obviously, to show that that spinner is actually spinning. It didn't look right. It gave a ghosting image over that, and I could not forgive myself to make a video where that is graphically not looking the part. So unfortunately, frame generation, yes, it works, but not on my system, so I will not be running frame generation. In fact, the only time I'll ever run frame generation is if I get a proper 40 series card to try it on, so maybe it works better with the proper card that it was designed for. So we are currently 3 minutes out from a direct approach into Gamston, or Retford, whichever one you call it. And again, there is a link, like I said, there is a link between this particular aircraft and the airport of which we're going to land at. And I'm not going to tell you about this, but maybe you'll notice this when we land, because I have got upgraded scenery for this airport, and you are going to see, hopefully, the reason why I've come here. So we'll carry on our descent down to 1300, or shall I set up down 1200. Right, so let's get ready for landings. Fuel pumps are coming on, landing lights are coming on. Everything else is set. So what we're going to do is we'll make a lowish approach over the airfield, make a right-hand turn, right-hand circuit, and we will be coming into land. Well, that's the plan anyway. So coming off autopilot, flight 125-ish knots. We'll be landing on runway 21. I do apologise if the Steam notifications are popping up all the time. It's not on my end, it's one of my friends. I should have tried to sort this out before doing the video, but unfortunately I forgot. I got too much distraction going on, so I do apologise for that if it does keep popping up. Make our right brake to land. Flaps down to approach. Gear coming down, gear selected, watching the lights. Nose wheel down, main wheel down, warning light out. runways passing to our 4 to 5 o'clock. Flaps coming down to landing. .500 checks. Checks complete. Welcome to Retford, where the local time is exactly the same time as you took off from, kind of. Now, why did I choose Retford? Well, just slow down enough, we'll be able to see when we get off the runway. Over there, I don't know whether you can see properly, but there's more diamonds, there's more twin stars, there's more of single engine varieties, which I've just forgotten. Is it the Katana? DA40 is it? I can't remember exactly what they were called. This is a diamond, I'm not going to say a diamond facility, but it is where a lot of diamond maintenance happens for various diamond aircraft. So I thought it'd be a good idea for me to pop on down here. We're going to park up behind this row of aircraft. I have to be very careful of this King Air that's sat here. And the giant fuel tanks. Lots of diamond aircraft. I do believe the Guardian version of this aircraft, which is the twin star with the camera gear hanging off the nose, I think it's used for the police. I'm not 100% who uses the Guardian. I don't know whether the military use it. Okay. Flaps up. But it's also based here. So typical flight simulator repaints, but we have 3 twin stars, a couple of the single engine, or 3 of the single engine varieties. Like I said, I can't remember the life of me what they're called. Is it the DA40s? I can't remember, haven't a clue. Anyway, let's get this plane shut down. So strobe lights off, taxi lights off, keep the position lights on, pitot heaters coming off, parking brake is set. Lights all coming off now, and batteries off. So, welcome to rather sunny Retford Airport. We will be flying this aircraft back to Waddington before we do our flight, which is our longest flight so far on the channel. We'll be taking this aircraft back to its actual home. This actual particular aircraft, Leading Edge Aviation, are based at Oxford Airport, and we are going to be flying this aircraft back to a proper sceneried version of London Oxford Airport, I do believe they call it. So that will be probably a couple of videos away. The next video will be leaving here as we fly back to Waddington. Again, not a great distance flight, but it's all more stuff for us to practice on. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions or comments, I'm hoping, dear God, that the audio is recorded, in which case this video will go online. If the audio has not recorded, then I'm doing this flight all over again, I guess. But yes, if questions or comments, bang them below. And I will see you guys in a future Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video very, very soon.